Alright, chat. How we doing? How we doing? Bring the music volume back up a little bit. Okie dokie. Yes. Yes, I am. I am streaming for more than one day in a row. There were a couple test streams earlier because I was getting this whole situation figured out, but I think it looks pretty good. I think we're in business. Let me get out of all this mumbo jumbo. Get out of the settings. No, not out of the settings. There we go. Okay. This looks good, no? I still need to set up, I think the only thing I have to set up now is the like a full screen for the camera dealio, like if I want to do full screen camera. I'm not worried about it right now, because I don't plan on doing much of that, but we got the new border, we got we got the as you guys saw, the stream starting soon screen. We have a be right back screen now. So yeah, we're in business. We have a new light. I put up a light behind my camera. The light is just a table lamp with paper towels and tissues wrapped around it as a light diffuser. So, not much of a professional setup. The thing that's holding my camera up is literally a box with a towel stuffed into it and a hole cut into it with a tripod in the box, in the hole, over the towel, holding the camera up that it's not meant to hold up. If you guys were here, it looks awful from above. From here, from my level, I can't see it. It looks good. And from your guys' perspective, I feel like it looks even better. So that's all that matters, right? So yeah, we're back today with some Euro Truck Sim. I spent $40 on an account that had every DLC, so we're gonna try to unlock some longer distance drives. That's my goal. So we're gonna take a quick job, and we're gonna take whatever the longest quick job is. Where are we going? What is the... Am I stupid? What? How? Is there a bridge that... Ferry I have to go on a ferry? Why would I do that? I want to just drive on land. Let's do this one. This one, yeah. We're delivering ice cream. Why not? I just realized I only have my Twitch chat up. I don't have the YouTube chat up, but that can be remedied by doing that. There we go. Okay. Now I have the YouTube chat up, guys. Get that situated. And then, what was I gonna do over here? I was gonna just turn this up a little bit. There we go. Alright. Now, go back over here. Alright, cool. So I don't expect anybody to join in for a while, but I will talk as if people are here, because that is part of being entertaining. So if it sounds like I'm just talking to myself, especially when you realize that nobody else is here, just know that I'm trying to get used to this whole thing. Especially, I feel like truck sim content is a little difficult in the sense that it's not overly engaging for the viewer, to just watch someone drive a truck for hours on end. But I'm not a competitive gamer. I can't do stuff like Call of Duty, Fortnite, Marvel Rival. I could maybe do Marvel Rivals, but not competitively. Nothing like Overwatch. I can't do stuff like that. I'm a cozy, casual gamer. So headlight usage offense. What? Alright, do I have to pull over? I don't have to pull over. I just got charged. Okay. I got charged for headlight usage when it's... What time is it? It's not even 7 p.m. It's still light outside. It's not even sunset. It's not even golden hour. I'm over here getting charged for not using my fucking headlights. Anyway, yeah, but I know that a game like this isn't overly engaging for the viewers. You're not watching me drive a semi for high level gameplay. You're not here for another reason than my personality. If anybody shows up, you know, if I get viewers, they wouldn't be here for my personality. They'd be, or for the gameplay, they'd be here for my personality. I can't fucking talk. How do I expect people to watch me if I can't fucking talk? But they wouldn't be here for my gameplay. They'd be here for my personality if I can manage to figure that out. So I know what I have to do here. I have to get better at being entertaining. Especially if I want to keep doing more boring games like this. I'm not only gonna do if I keep streaming, I'm not only going to do truck sim and driving simulators. I want to do games like Stardew Valley, and there's a game called Fields of Mystria that's, you know, kind of one of those Stardew Valley like games that I want to do. I think a Minecraft series would be fun. Just things that I could expand into. But this is just I like to do this anyway. So going live and potentially having a few people to talk to while I do this is fun. The idea of having a community of people who would want to sit in here and talk to me while I get drunk and drive a truck is fun. I don't know what happened to my music. I'm gonna have to figure that out in a second. I keep seeing those bright pink trucks. I think there's another one coming up. Yeah, what are those? Oh, that one was a Coca-Cola truck. Maybe I'm talking about this one. Yeah. What are those? Is that FedEx? How would that be FedEx? Okay. Oh no, my music's still on. My game is just way louder than the music. Okay, yeah, it's pretty good. I feel like I just need to turn the game sound down too. Like that's not helping. That's not audio. Good? Yeah. It's a little better. I feel like maybe even a little more. No. Oh, yeah. We got it. We'll go 24, because 24 is almost as funny as 25. Okay. Well, I am just gonna talk, even though nobody's here. Because why not? So I'm just gonna fucking ramble about shit that I want to ramble about while I drive. Did y'all see that Severance finale? Spoiler alert for Severance. Oh! I didn't realize how that was gonna work, okay? I'm sorry. That's my bad. That's totally my bad. What was I saying? Unauthorized border crossing? Am I supposed to apply for my visa? Are you expecting me to go through the paperwork in game? What did I do? What could I have done differently? Okay, I did admittedly smash into the gate. But what could I have done differently? Why is that an unauthorized border crossing? It didn't give me the option to present papers. It didn't give me the option to file for a visa. Okay. Anyway, if I could speak, without getting some sort of traffic violation or committing a felony. Did y'all see that Severance finale? That was insane. I'm a little confused. Spoiler alert again for Severance. I'm a little confused by any Mark's decision, but at the same time I'm not. These brakes are not as good as I thought they were. So what confuses me about any Mark's decision is he killed a man and went through everything else to help Gemma get that far. Buddy, I need you to let me over. Buddy, I need you to let me over. I didn't have my turn signal on, that's my bad. He went through everything that he went through to help Gemma get out, or at least get to where she's going. I just realized I feel like I need to turn this fucking desktop audio down a little bit. There we go. Sorry, I am all types of distracted right now. But, no, wow, this is loud as fuck, dude. But I get his decision in the sense of his innie is technically his own person, right? Like, his innie is just doing what's best for himself. But why go through everything that you just went through just to turn around? Like, where are you guys going? Where are him and Helly going? The only option they have is to go to where Milchick and them are, right? Am I dumb? Are they gonna go to, like, the goat department, or what? But I'm just confused as to where Mark, even any Mark, thinks he's gonna go with Helly. I guess I get it, like, anywhere's better than dying in his mind, because to any Mark, that's just death. Walking out that door is the last time you'll ever see or talk to anybody. But at the same time, it's just like, do you not realize that you're not going anywhere? This is like what Audi Mark tried to explain to any Mark. You die either way. Even if you don't save Gemma and then leave, like, you're going to die. Because once Cold Harbor is complete, they're going to kill Gemma, and then they're going to kill you, or they're going to fire you, or they're going to whatever, but any Mark, no matter what, will cease to exist. So what does any Mark think he's accomplishing by not leaving? Cold Harbor hasn't been completed and can't be completed now because Gemma's gone. So either way, they're gonna get rid of any Mark, right? Or, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there's gonna be a third season, so there's gonna be some sort of plot armor that prevents him from getting killed. I'm just befuddled by having any Mark think that he can prolong his life somehow But I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. Definitely an intriguing finale. Good way to... Alright, guys, come on. So Optimus Prime on my left is going to speed up. While this guy... Alright. At least traffic in this game is realistic, because people fucking suck. But yeah, I mean, intriguing finale, for sure. Definitely has me wanting more. Just not quite the same feeling that I got left with after the first season, if that makes sense. The first season had such an insane cliffhanger that I don't think can be topped. Can I get over? I want to pass these guys so bad. But also, can we talk about that fucking Milchick dance sequence? Hey, buddy, your brake lights either aren't working or you're not hitting your brakes somehow. That Milchick dance sequence, they love to let that man move. Like, that dude spends I feel like he spends half the show just fucking serving cunt. Because when that dance sequence broke out, hey, you're in the fast lane, dude. Speed up. Please. When that dance sequence broke out with the marching band, my jaw was on the floor. That was simultaneously the most impressive and funniest thing I have seen in such a long time. Probably since the musical Dance Experience, honestly. Like, that man just knows how to move. And the fact that, like, this is Tremel Tillman, this is, like, one of his first major roles. He hasn't done a whole lot outside of Severance. So for him to just be such a performer, to go from menacing to funny to serious to depressing, like, he is just, I mean, this role is going to give him such a long and boisterous career. Okay, so these are just random brands that are getting the hot pink treatment, apparently. Because I saw a Coca-Cola one earlier. And now this is a DHL van that has the bright pink trim. It's crazy. But yeah, I cannot tell you how much I love seeing Mr. Milchick. Every time Mr. Milchick comes on screen, my day is made better. The little bit where he hands Dylan his Audi's response to the Innie's resignation request, and then he just fucking darts he turns around. Oh my god, why are you doing that? Oh, and then he just turns around and fucking darts out of the room. That is single-handedly one of the funniest clips from a television show I've ever seen, and I think it's made funnier by the fact that Severance isn't supposed to be a comedy show at all. It is primarily a very serious and ominous show. So the fact that such a funny scene and such a great... Sorry, hang on. That fucking Pepsi truck had the hot pink treatment. But yeah, such a serious and ominous show has such funny little bits in between. I think makes them that much more effective because you're not expecting it. It just comes out of nowhere. Like, that was such a serious scene, and then it just went into, like, just one of the little bits in between was that Milchick running out of the room, and it's so funny. I've seen so many posts about that bit in particular because it catches people so off guard. Same thing with the marching band performance. Stuff like that is just, it's so like out of left field, but it's so welcome in stuff like that. Especially with a character like Mr. Milchick. I mean, this is a character who has established himself as not just serious, but also funny out of nowhere. And unintentionally funny, too. Like, devour feculence isn't supposed to be a super funny line. Now I need to turn the music down. Isn't that crazy? How much I just have to adjust volume levels because nothing can be consistent. Okay. There we go. But yeah, Devour Feculence isn't supposed to be some, like, super hilarious moment in the show. But it's so funny because it's so out of left field for Mr. Milchick to just randomly tell his boss to eat shit. And to mock him at the same time by using such see, I'm not Mr. Milchick, I can't use long words. He uses long words on purpose to mock Mr. Drummond. Speaking of Mr. Drummond, that fucking scene where Mark becomes his Audi and just, like, it without thinking, whoa, I gotta pay attention to the road. Without thinking, Mark just clicks the trigger on the sheep gun and kills Mr. Drummond. Yeah, I mean, that was insane. That had my jaw on the floor as well. And at first I was a little taken aback because I'm like, oh! That person's not, I want to just apologize for what just happened because we just witnessed someone get absolutely obliterated, all because I was talking about Severance. And I want to say that I'm sorry, but to my point, that scene with Mr. Drummond dying was crazy. And at first I was kind of taken aback at the fact that Mark's Audi was just not fazed by the fact that he just killed a man and his blood is all over him. But at the same time, Audi Mark knew that he was gonna be at Lumen to save Gemma. So he probably immediately locked in and was like, I don't give a fuck. And that's hard. Now, to the family of whoever I just ran the fuck over, I am sorry. That is unfortunate. I promise I had my brakes all the way down. I will do better in the future, but I probably won't. just spilled drink on my fucking pants. Alright, well, it's gotta be a bad day when, you get absolutely shit-rocked by a semi that's just traveling to deliver ice cream. I'm an ice cream delivery man who just accidentally ran over a small Fiat. Let's keep going. Okay. Notice how, you know, the game didn't even pretend to, like, push him forward or whatever and let him drive away. Like, there was no, like, suspension of disbelief. The car disappeared. He's gone. Motherfucker got obliterated. That's, yeah, that is entirely my bad. But hey. You know? What can you say? What else can you say? Why? Okay. What I really want to know is why are we giving random branded cars the fucking Call of Duty Black Ops 2 camo treatment? Why do they just randomly get to look like that? And simultaneously, can I look like that? That's fire. Hey, you know what? We're over halfway through the drive. Oh, my guy needs to sleep. There was lodging over there. I just passed an exit where there was lodging. My guy has to sleep, and I literally pass the exit for where my guy can sleep. Well, I'm gonna have to figure something out. Might as well get in the right lane. Oh, cool, I have to take this exit anyway. Which means there's probably not lodging here. It means I'm probably getting onto another highway. Sick. What was I saying about Severance? Oh, Mr. Drummond. Yeah. So, at first, like I said, I was a little put off by the fact that Mark's Audi just didn't have a problem with the fact that his innie had clearly just killed someone. But then you stop to think about the fact that he had kind of had the conversation with his innie and knew that it was dangerous and knew that he was going into Lumen to save his wife. So it makes sense that he doesn't care. Just when it even happening in the first place was, why? You have so much room in front of you, why are you slamming on your brakes? Anyway, yeah. Just happened so out of nowhere that it definitely took me by surprise. And I feel like even if I knew that I was sneaking into somewhere dangerous to rescue my wife, I feel like randomly regaining consciousness while I've just pulled the trigger and ended someone's life and they're bleeding all over me, I feel like that would be jarring to you no matter what. It doesn't matter, like, how weird the circumstances are. Regaining consciousness to having killed someone while they're bleeding all over you, that's going to fuck you up a little bit, especially as a normal person. But what do I know? You know, I've never been in that situation, personally. Chat, have you been in that situation where you've randomly regained consciousness while you're killing someone? Donate $1,000. But no, I just thought it was a little weird that Audi Mark had no problem with the fact that he was dropping Mr. Drummond's actively dying body. You know, just a little weird. And the scene where him and Gemma like actually reunite, where he pulls her out and she becomes her Audi and she sees Mark as his Audi. You know, that warms my fucking heart. And I got a little teary eyed, if I'm being honest. So overall, I mean, the finale was great. That it's just that final scene kind of confused me. But the more I've sat on it, I think I understand it more, because it's like, as an as an innie who essentially knows nothing about your Audi, why would you not want that autonomy to stay alive and be your own person and have your own love? And especially if you're Audi Mark, or I keep saying Audi, especially if you're any Mark, like, why would you not want to stay alive because you've just figured out how to fall in love? Now, the thing that's a little weird is he knows that Heliar is Helena Egan. So I don't know what he thinks is going to happen, because once Helena Egan finds out what just went down, she's never going to allow her innie to come back. So I don't know what he expected. But again, I get the irrational thinking at the end of the day. Basically, what I'm saying. I really only have two topics that I'm good at talking about: severance and professional wrestling. So let's talk about professional wrestling for a little bit, shall we? Even if there was anyone in here, which there's not, they would have just left as soon as they heard those two words, professional wrestling. But hey, you know, something I'm passionate about. I didn't watch, today's Saturday. I didn't watch SmackDown yet. I've seen some of the highlights. But I feel like I still have most of the major stuff buzzing through my brain. I know there was a promo between Roman and Punk and Seth, and I know that then they got physical, and Punk kind of alluded to the fact that he was going to call on the favor from Paul Heyman. That's exciting, because I feel like that's a storyline that needs to be paid off. But surely that Mania match is going to end up going crazy. I know they confirmed Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for Mania. That's going to go crazy. I want to point out, first of all, stop slowing down. Why are we slowing down? There's no indication that you need to slow down. I want to point out, why are there so many more mountains here than there were in Switzerland? In Switzerland, you're literally going through the Alps, and I didn't see a single mountain on my Switzerland route. But here, it's mountains galore. That's fine. Whoa, buddy. Come on, man. Help me out here. Okay, I need to... Whoa! What are we doing? Okay. We're fine. spicy. I feel like I shouldn't keep. I'll talk about professional wrestling when it's more my audience's speed, but I feel like it's not a great idea to build an audience talking about professional wrestling. I've been rewatching Breaking Bad recently. That show is insanely good. I feel like it's easy to forget just how good Breaking Bad is because so many people post about how good Breaking Bad is. And it makes you forget that it actually is that good. Like, it's one of those shows where, like, you can get told how good it is and then watch it and it still exceeds your expectations. My guy's gonna fucking pass out. Why do these cars keep slamming on their brakes? Anyway, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is an amazing show. And I think it's easy to forget how amazing of a show Breaking Bad actually is. Because there are so many TikTok edits and Reddit posts and things of that nature that overly emphasize how good of a show Breaking Bad is. But when you remember, please stop. Oh, did you see that? We're good. Anyway, when you actually sit down and rewatch or watch Breaking Bad, you realize that it is one of the first shows of its kind. Yes, there were shows that sort of started to break the mold of traditional television first, i.e. The Sopranos, The Wire, shows like that. And that's fine. Those shows are great. I haven't watched all of The Wire, but I have watched all of The Sopranos, and I love that show. But Breaking Bad just had such a rich backstory, and I feel like the story overall is just easier to follow in Breaking Bad than it is in something like Sopranos or again, I haven't watched all of The Wire, so I'm not going to comment on that, but yeah, it creates such a dynamic by setting itself up the way that it does. Because upon your first watch of Breaking Bad, you could be, most people are, and I was, fooled into rooting for Walt. Because when you first watch a TV show, you want to root for the main guy. Whoever the main guy is, that's who you want to root for. So you spend almost the whole show doing that, only until pretty much the end, where most people realize, like, obviously there are, he does a lot of shitty things throughout the show, but you on your first watch, you only really realize how awful he is at the end of the show. Or towards the end of the show, in the last season or two. But watching it a second or third time, you really just... Alright, that's weird. You really just start to realize on on the next couple watches that not only is he a terrible person, or not only is he not as good as you thought he was initially, but he's a terrible person. Like this most recent time I'm watching, I literally know nothing except that he sucks. He is awful. I mean, you take into account the fact this man poisoned a child, and then lied about it to the person that he started the business with. He essentially brags about the fact that he's killed people to his wife, who's already afraid of him. He expects said wife to not only want to stay married to him and keep living with him and have their children around him, but wants her to essentially exalt him as a god because of everything he's done. I mean, really, like, watching it more than once just makes you realize what a fucking awful, toxic narcissist Walt really is. It's crazy. And there's people who get mad at, or like, if you watch any TikTok edit of Breaking Bad, people will be like hating on Sky. It's almost like a Skylar hate community. And it baffles me so much, because I'm like, watching it this most recent time, I've done nothing but agree with Skylar. Nothing but agree with her. Except for the, happy birthday to Ted. That, and cheating on Walt. Those two things I can't excuse. Everything else, you know, keeping the kids away from him, shit like that. How am I going to be mad at that? That's good parenting. Sorry. Sorry to tell you. Alright, well, we got one drive done. Let's go ahead and grab another job. Let's see where we're at. We want to do Poland, Serbia, Romania. We can just drive across Italy. Why are all of these involving going on ferries? We'll do this one. Why not? Alright. But yeah, once you rewatch Breaking Bad, I feel like you just start to realize that everybody except Walt thinks rationally. Like, Walt is truly delusional in the way that he thinks. And it's a little weird how many people online you see kind of relate to or align themselves with Walt. Because again, he is truly delusional. Another show I've been rewatching recently, I'm apparently just gonna talk about TV shows this whole time, but, you know, makes for something to talk about. Another show I've been rewatching recently, this one for probably the, like, 6th or 7th time, is BoJack Horseman. And that, I mean, that is the epitome of my favorite show of all time. I don't think that TV can subvert your expectations more than a Family Guy-esque show turning itself around just over halfway through the first season and becoming one of the most emotionally intelligent and depressing shows that you can possibly watch. And again, it's one of those shows where arguably for like even through the first watch, you just know that BoJack, as a on a fundamental level, sucks. But you really like it hammers itself home every time how much BoJack self-sabotages. And it's almost funny because when I first started watching BoJack, I had been also watching Breaking Bad at the time simultaneously. And it was just weird to see these two completely different shows. These shows that stylistically, thematically, and emotionally were completely different shows. But I found a similarity in the sense that I like the main character is someone that you almost want to root for, but at the same time you absolutely hate because they're fundamentally a bad person. Like Walter White, fundamentally a bad person. He's someone who, at the end of the day, would rather his own ego over even just little things. Like the episode where Walter Jr. makes the website that takes donations for Walt. Walt gets you can see it in his face, and that's one of the amazing things about Bryan Cranston's performance is you can see in Walt's face that he's not happy. He's angry at his kid for asking for money for him. He turns down having his treatment fully paid for in order to cook meth because he wants to earn that money himself. I mean, this is a narcissistic, selfish individual. And BoJack, in that same sense, is a self-sabotaging, narcissistic, selfish individual who would much rather give in to his habits of drinking, doing drugs, partying with, all these people and trying to relive his old days instead of admitting that he has a problem. So to have these two shows that are completely thematically and stylistically different. I mean, one is an animated adult show about a horse with, a bunch of anthropomorphic animals. And one is a live action show about a drug dealer who has lung cancer. To see such a distinct similarity between both main characters is amazing. And again, arguably that is something that started with... Alright, buddy. You go ahead. You go ahead. Arguably that is something that started with Sopranos, is Tony Soprano is someone that you're arguably not going to agree with normally. He has no problem killing people. He has no problem committing crimes, participating in illegal drug trade, stuff like that. But at the same time, Tony's a little more relatable in that he never really changes the content of his character. Whereas Walt, seemingly, in Breaking Bad, goes through a complete and total character change. Which makes sense, but once you... once you realize and go back and rewatch Breaking Bad, you realize that is happening? You kind of realize once you rewatch Breaking Bad that Walt has kind of always been like that. This isn't anything new for Walt. It's new in the sense that he's never been put in this position before, but it's not new in the sense that Walt is just this selfish. This is who he is at his core. He is someone who is so egotistical that he will resort to cooking meth and trying to have a drug empire over taking a free payment of his treatment. Whereas with Tony Soprano, it's more like this guy always does what is best for his family, and is Tony almost more reminds me of Gus Fring, where Gus is the cool, calculated guy who just wants everything to stay as it is. He doesn't need more, he doesn't need less. He is comfortable where he is, and he only wants everything to go the way that it's supposed to. And so in that way, Tony reminds me of Gus Fring, whereas Walt is the it's never enough guy. You know, you start the show with him needing $737,000. Well, really, you start the show with him headlight usage offense. That's insane. You start the show with him just needing to pay for his treatment, and then not just needing to pay for his treatment, but refusing payment for his treatment and needing to continue cooking meth. But the first metric that we get is $737,000. Can I get over? And then he meets that. He gets over $1 million. And that's not enough. So he keeps going. And then there are people who clearly challenge his ego. So he keeps going out of spite. Then there are people, like, he kills people. And, you know, so many different things. So for him, it's, I mean, he's this different anti-hero in the sense that you root for him the first time around because, again, he's the main guy of the show. He's the guy that you see the most of, so automatically you want him to win because you want the show to keep going. But then once you rewatch it, you're just kind of like, and you know every other character already, you rewatch how they behave at first, you're just like, wow, this is like, these people are being completely rational in what they're asking of him, and he just doesn't care. He's so fueled by his own ego. And I think that's what makes Tony Soprano such an interesting character, is he's a lot more here and there, in my opinion, in that like I said, there are a lot more things that he does where, even upon rewatching The Sopranos, I'm like, Tony just cares about his family. Because he never changes in that regard. Tony always cares about his family first. Um, and even goes as far as killing someone over what they said to Meadow. So I was supposed to exit there. Nice. But yeah, Tony even goes as far as killing someone in the mob over what they said to his daughter. So that's how much he cares about his family. Walter doesn't care about his family in that same sense. And at a certain point, only cares about himself. And that is made very apparent in the finale, where Skylar says, just admit that you did it for this family, or, tell me that you did it for us, for the family, for this or that. And Walt goes, I did it for me. I did it because I liked it, because I was good at it. And that's, again, obviously, it's kind of what the whole show built up to, but that's like the written confirmation that Walt didn't do any of that for his family. He did it for his own selfish desires. And I think that inherently makes the character very different from Tony Soprano. And then you have Bojack, who is different in the sense that he just can't pull himself out of any of his destructive habits. It's not something that... It's less of an unrecognized thing, where like Walter White doesn't even understand that his ego is the problem, and he never really gets told that his ego is the problem. Bojack is fully self-aware of all of his problems and chooses not to fix them. So that inherently makes him different. And I just remembered one of my cats is in here. That's crazy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this fucker. Alright. You can go. Okay, well, evidently I have been yapping about TV shows for over an hour. Well, the better part of an hour, I guess. Probably not over an hour. So I should probably stop and try talking about something else, if I can, because I don't have much of a personality outside of watching TV and movies. So let's talk about movies! I watched Sonic 3 for the first time not that long ago, and I was very impressed. Very impressed. I didn't expect the visuals to be as good as they were. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those visuals were the visuals were they were don't worry, the visuals were good. Kind of funny to me that a Sonic movie, a video game movie, has better overall visuals than 90% of the Marvel movies of the last 6 years. But I'm not complaining, because that movie kicks ass. Felt the Jim Carrey's performance, both of them really felt like everything you'd want out of classic Jim Carrey. Go faster, just go faster. yeah, it the whole movie was just such a joy to watch. I watched it by myself. I didn't have anyone with me watching it, and I I felt very enthralled the whole time. Obviously, like it's not some cinematic writing masterpiece with amazing dialogue and whatever. It's got very stereotypical movie dialogue, especially for a PG movie. But whew, the action and the visuals more than make up for that. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure if anybody watches this, they will have probably already seen it. Uh, but man, it made me realize that I took way too long to watch it. Like the the acting was good. I wouldn't say it's anything to super write home about. Like Keanu Reeves does good as Shadow, but I don't think that it's like a legendary voice acting performance. It sounds like Keanu Reeves to me. Um, Ben Schwartz as Sonic sounds like Ben Schwartz in every other role. So, I think honestly the best voice acting performance in the movie is Idris Elba as Knuckles. It's kind of crazy to me that that's him because he doesn't sound anything like that in real life. So he's like really the only one changing a lot about his voice to do the role. But I mean, other than little things like that, like the movie itself is just outstanding. Um, Easily, probably the best video game movie I've ever seen. Well, I was gonna get over. Yeah, easily the probably the best video game movie I've ever seen. Um, Not including shows, because as far as shows go, I would say it's The Last of Us. The Last of Us and Fallout kind of go back and forth between being my favorite because writing wise, The Last of Us is my favorite. Style wise, Fallout is my favorite. Um, but movie wise, I don't think it gets much better than Sonic 3, especially live action movies. Like, there's an argument to be made that the Mario movie is the best because it's animated, so it actually was able to be the most true to life for the Super Mario franchise. But to take something as outlandish as Sonic and translate it even serviceably, let alone well, into live action, I think is considerably more impressive. Like, if you think about it, they couldn't even translate Uncharted well into live action, and that's already technically a live action game. Like, that game, it should be one of the easiest things to translate into a live action. It's essentially just playing an action movie. So to take something as cartoonish and outlandish as Sonic and translate it as well as they did into a live action movie, I think is so impressive, and I can't believe that they did as good as they did. One thing I would love to figure out about this game is I have my foot all the way on the floor, and I will go from getting faster to slowing down without doing anything. So now I feel the need to get over here because my guy just wants to get over so much. Not get over. My guy wants to go slow so much. Oh, Leon. France. There's no way. You know, it's crazy. I did the whole drive across Switzerland. Didn't see a single mountain. I thought that's one of the things they were famous for. Let me get over. But going across Italy and now France, you already had someone pulled over. You shouldn't even be able to do that. Okay? Whatever, man. But yeah, I've seen more mountains across Italy and France than I did across Switzerland. And I'm not saying that it never mind. I'm not saying that Italy and France don't have mountains. I'm just saying I thought Switzerland was famous for, I mean, the Swiss Alps. Is that not something they're famous for? But hey, I'm just here. I'm just here living life. Okay, I'm getting over. How long do you guys think it takes the Blue Man Group to get ready? Like, realistically? I'm not talking about, like, rehearsal. Like, I'm sure rehearsal takes a decent amount of time no matter who you are. But think about not just the fact that they're painted, like, all the way around. Think about how the paint looks. Like, that doesn't look like normal body paint. So, how long do you think it takes them to get coated in that kind of paint? And also, with how consistent it looks. You know, like, body paint has a tendency to be, like, splotchy, where you can still see, like, lighter parts because of your skin underneath. Those guys look blue through and through. How long do you think that takes? And what kind of fucking paint are they using? Are they using, like, adhesive? Pool liner? It's just something I've always thought about is, how, like, what is their getting ready process like? It's very interesting to me. Because they, like, I mean, they look textured. You can, like, see individual skin particles on them. That's how, like... Do you think it fucks up their skin? Do you think, like, having... I know that there's, like, body-safe paint, but think about how much performing they do. Do you think that, like, permanently fucks up their skin? After, like, a certain point? So, you know, there are medications that are, like... There are medications that are, like, technically, like safe, you know? As long as you just take them for a month or two. But then if you take them for longer than a month, it's not safe anymore. Do you think that there are... That body paint is kind of like that? Where, like, you can use this X and X body paint for how, like, so and so long, and then after, you know, if you use it more than this amount of times per month or week or whatever, that it fucks up your skin. Do you think that maybe that's what's happening to the Blue Man Group? I don't know. They always look so shiny and textured. It's just something I've been thinking about, you know? Like, whenever you look at the Blue Man Group, you feel a little something. You feel a little off-put by how they look. Just look up a picture of the Blue Man Group and tell me you don't feel a little put off by their skin shininess and the way that it's textured. And their eyes, like, are they wearing colored contacts? They're probably wearing colored contacts. They're probably wearing blue colored contacts, now that I think about it. It makes the most sense. But they just, yeah. They're off, but I'd like to go to a Blue Man Group concert, honestly, just to see it in person. I want to see how off-putting they look in person. You know what's funny is I forgot what the Blue Man Group actually does. They play like I've seen videos of them playing like drums and shit, like big drums. And I think they do like the PVC pipe with like spatulas. I might be misremembering that. Literally all I know about them is they look fucking weird. But to be fair, I'm not hating. I actually think that their concept is pretty dope. I just happened to notice that they have textured skin, and I wondered if perhaps the paint had something to do with that. I mean, I can't... It's like Jeff Hardy, you know? Look at Jeff Hardy. Motherfucker has painted his face for the last God knows how long. And, you know, his skin could be fucked up from it. I haven't gotten a look at his skin like that in a while. But I just feel like any shit like that, like coloring your hair, painting your face, shit like that, like, that's gonna fuck you up after a while. It doesn't matter how much safer they make this shit. There's chemicals. Yes, yeah. There's chemicals in that shit that will fuck you up. But again, what do I know? I'm just here. Not like I'm doing anything useful. I'm sitting here playing a truck simulator. I work in IT on Burger King POS systems. Do I have to say, you know how hard it is to be entertaining without a chat? Like, I don't know how YouTubers do. Now I kind of get why. Oh, Game Variant, hello. How are you? Welcome in. How's streaming going? It's, you know, I just missed my exit, so that, it's unfortunate, but streaming's going good. I was just talking about how hard it is to be entertaining without a chat. I don't know how Let's Players used to do it, but I'm I'm cool. Yeah, that's good, man. What you up to tonight? You just perusing through streams? Oh, these brakes aren't good. Where are you headed to, by the way? If you're talking about in here, I think I'm going from... I think I started in Italy and I'm going to France or... Oh, wait. Fuck. I definitely just fucked up that roundabout. Yeah, I think I'm ending in somewhere in France, but I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Try to stay focused on the road. Yeah, probably a good idea. I've already missed a couple turns just getting distracted talking. Picked up my PC and I landed on your stream. Hell yeah, man. Well, feel free to follow. I mean, right now all I'm kind of doing is driving and rambling. I plan on doing some more stuff in the future, you know, depending on how well this picks up, but I'm mostly going to be like a casual streamer. Just kind of playing games and rambling about stupid stuff that I like to ramble about. Like, for example, chat, have you ever realized that nobody in the Scooby-Doo universe ever seems as amazed at his ability to talk as they should be? Like, if I'm calling a team to solve a mystery and the dog that they bring with them starts talking to me, I'm not just going to be like, wow, a talking dog. I'm going to freak out. I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs. What do you mean you're a talking dog? That not only is talking to me in English, but you are you're helping solve the mystery of whatever I called you guys here for? Yeah, I don't know. I just, feel like nobody's ever as shocked as they should be in Scooby-Doo about a talking dog, because I forgive my memory if it's not correct, but I don't think there's another talking animal that speaks fluent English in the entire Scooby-Doo canon. I don't think, other than Scrappy, because he's blood related to Scooby-Doo. So that brings up, okay, so him saying try to stay focused on the road just became a lot more relevant. But that begs the question, is there some sort of Is there some sort of gene in Scooby's DNA that allows him to talk? Because Scrappy, his blood relative, is the only other animal in the entire Scooby-Doo universe that is able to speak fluent English. So would that mean that we are dealing with some sort of mutated gene in domestic Great Danes that allows them to talk, but at the same time, then it, is Scrappy a Great Dane? He's never grown up. You are getting tired. Oh, fuck. This is why talking about Scooby-Doo lore, not the best idea. Well, we'll find somewhere to sleep, hopefully.